Our first guest is an example of how you might not choose a passion, instead it chooses you. What started out as a quick business venture turned into a true labor of love. In fact, George Zoe says it turned out to be the best thing he's ever done. And for the record, he's done a lot. He bought a wig shop with the intention of flipping it for profit, but God had other plans. George bought Ruby's Wig Salon, where those experiencing hair loss can restore their crown and glory. He joins us along with Judy Harper, whose sister was the original owner of that salon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The importance of hair. A lot of us take it for granted. We might want something that's thicker or curly or straight or whatever, but when it's gone,
Yes.
if you're sick, it's one thing to be sick, it's another thing to look sick.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a core of our heart.
Yeah.
For women.
Yeah, and you have a niece who went through breast cancer.
Yes.
All right, so Ruby, your sister, she was an entrepreneur and she had a generous heart. She was a hairdresser in the 60s and 70s, and we know 60s and 70s was a whole nother hair game.
That was entertainment.
The hair was entertainment. Yeah, we were talking about some of the styles back then, right?
Yes, yes.
It was a beehive?
The beehive, it was like a hive of a bee. The higher, the better.
Yeah, because the higher it is, the closer you are to God. Isn't that what we say in Texas?
I think it's true.
Right. All right. Well, as a hairstylist in the 60s and 70s in particular, she started noticing women coming in with hair loss for different reasons.
Yes.
But cancer was a big one.
Very big. Cancer was when somebody comes in with cancer, you connect deeper level because they have found a different plane they're thinking on, and they're scared and they're afraid of losing their hair. But when they leave Ruby's, they're happy, smiling, and they found themselves again.
Yeah. What did Ruby share with you when she was doing hair, her aha moment of, wait, I'm not just doing hair, we need to incorporate wigs because there are a lot of women who are losing their hair. There's no hair to work with.
For her, it was not both. Yeah. She had a small styling. When she came to and created Ruby's, it was strictly wigs.
Okay.
George.
Yeah, she had started out as a
George,
hairstylist.
Yeah,
she started out as a hairstylist, and then moved. That's how much it touched her, that she moved completely to doing wigs, and it became what she called a sanctuary of hope. Your sister Ruby had a stroke and passed away in 1999, and so you were left with, do I keep the shop going? Because it wasn't necessarily your business,
It
right?
was not mine at all.
Yeah.
I had no intentions of having it.
Yeah.
But then God laid it on my heart, and I bought it when she was on her deathbed.
Oh, wow.
Which causes different emotions anyhow. So when people came in, I had some depth already to be able to help and talk to them.
But then life got really busy for you as well.
Yes.
Your husband got sick, and so you considered selling the salon.
Yes.
And something that you were going to have to do.
Yes.
With a heavy heart, I would imagine.
It was, but when it's time, and he needed me, so it made it easier to turn loose of.
Yeah. All right. Now it comes into George. All right. George, you have a childhood memory of cancer in your family. You were only 4 years old. Your sister, a couple of years older, was 6 years old. But there's this moment that you remember with your mom and your sister.
I remember her always running around with no hair. Remember, we had her pigtails my mom cut off, and still have them.
Yeah. Did you know at that time why your mom was cutting your sister's pigtails off?
I had no idea. I mean, I was young. I was, on the runt of the litter of the 5 of us, and so I saw a lot, but don't remember as much. But I do remember her going through chemo and her trials and tribulations with it over the years.
And having to wear a cap.
She wore a cap when she was young. I don't think there were wigs back then for kids, but she always had a little funny little flower bonnet or something, I remember she had on.
Because she had her bald head underneath there.
She always matched.
So that was a memory that you had. But you, as an entrepreneur, you've created several businesses. You owned a shopping center, and Judy was a tenant.
Yes.
And then when did you come to know about what Ruby's was really doing behind those doors?
I think I knew because I would always visit with Judy throughout once a week, stop by, see what she needed, help her out, changing light bulbs, all that stuff. But towards the end, when she was retiring, she came to me and brought this whole page of why she's leaving, and she didn't want to renew a lease, and it was month to month for 15 years. I never signed a lease with her. Actually, it was just last year, just kind of stacked up checks and never cashed her checks. And when I realized no one in her family was going to take it on, I started doing what I call the Greek thing, asking her about the business. How well was it doing? Is it profitable? Is there money to be made? It's a 40-year-old business. I didn't want to see it close, and so I kind of told her in my office, I said, how much do you want for it? And she looked at me like I was completely crazy, already having 2 successful businesses. She's like, why do you want a third one? I said, well, you don't close a 40-year-old business that takes care of cancer patients. I'll figure it out. I said, just help me for 3 months and we'll figure it out. 3 months went to about 4. And then slowly over the years, we figured it out, found my first stylist to come in and work.
Because at first you thought, I'll sell it to another stylist.
I thought I was going to build it, modernize it, remodel it, computerize it, and then find a stylist that wanted to buy it. And realize a lot of stylists don't want to do the day-to-day business operations. They're great at styling. They don't want to do the business and the inventory. On my hand, I've always had huge inventories in my businesses, and I soon realized if we can keep a big inventory to where it's a destination spot, you can come in and the same day leave with a wig without having to come back, especially when you're going through chemo. And a lot of the women have, sometimes it may be an hour or 2 hours a week to deal with that. So we do about a 90% delivery rate right now on all of our wigs in stock.
Because they can come in feeling one way, but they walk out, you make sure they walk out feeling another. So when you kind of wrapped your arms around this and said, okay, it's mine now, I'm going to make this work even better than before, one of the things you wanted to do was to make sure it didn't feel like a wig shop that you come to when you have hair loss.
Wanted it to feel like a salon, just like all my girlfriends that would go to these higher-end salons.
How many girlfriends do you have, Mr.
Well,
right now, girlfriends. I got you.
Over the years, the girlfriends I've had over the years. I want to make sure the same salons that they would go to, that when you're going through cancer, you can come and have that same experience, the same feel. We just did a current remodel. Everything's done. I call it my Yellowstone makeover. It's a lot of brown tones, saddle tone leathers.
Calming tones.
Calming tones, lighted displays. We have a front showroom, a reception desk, and then we have our 3 chairs in the back that all have privacy curtains.
And by the way, you paid attention to every little detail, even down to how those privacy curtains are set.
Correct. Usually, me being in the hospital several times, usually the curtains are on a circular motion and you hear this distinct, like a rail car coming around. Mine are just perpendicular to each other, and I did very lightweight linen curtains versus plasticky type curtains. I want it to feel like you're in a home, not in a hospital. So, because all of them are just coming in with, I mean, from stage 1 to stage 4 to every source of cancer you can think of.
Not only cancer, but then alopecia. Trichotillomania, anything that causes hair loss. All right, instead of handing out pink ribbons, you hand out something else.
I hand out a wooden cross.
And what does that mean to those women when you hand that to them? That's
It's
another
different.
source of connection.
I keep them in the bowl. Don't really hand to them. I have them in the bowl at the reception. And if they inquire about it, I let them take one. I say, you can take one. And I just don't like the pink ribbons. I understand why they have it, with the Susan G. Komen, everything. But I don't want them to think or have to tell them that they have cancer or remind them of it when they come in the salon.
You remind them of a faith that can get them through. Another thing that you do that is so important is that, you know, there was at one time in the 70s where, you know, breast cancer was not even covered by insurance. It was like, you know, you had to pay for that yourself. There were so many things that we had to fight for along the way to be part of your basic, or mammogram, I should say, not even covered by insurance, a basic thing to detect breast cancer. But one of the things that a lot of women find themselves, you know, caught up in is, how do I pay for that wig? You can guide them through that insurance process.
Yes, I've studied a lot of the insurance policies and read quite a few. And a lot of the insurance companies will say on the first call that it's not covered in the policy. And a lot of women, probably 80% of them will give up and they won't call back. I figured out that, and after reading policies, that it's not excluded. There's probably one small insurance company that excludes a wig. So I've devised a whole series of questions. When they call the insurance company, they can ask. The most important one is when they say it's not covered, is ask the operator where in the policy, on what page and what section is it excluded? Is the coverage excluded? And don't say another word. And that right there starts the ball working in their court. Another thing is all the salons are out of network in Houston, but they can ask for a network deficiency or gap coverage because the insurance companies are not putting us in network. I'm still working with some to try to get network, but we're seeing about the ones that go through the process with me, we get about 80% of them covered.
Yeah, as a cranioprosthesis.
Yes.
All right, you provide free wigs every month, not to everybody. So let me make sure that's clear. Is that the only way you can be able to give is when people who can pay or get it paid for. And so if people would like to qualify for a free wig, then they can go ahead and write a letter to Ruby's Wig Salon and share their experience. People can write on behalf of somebody, but you really love hearing from the person who's really going through it. And this is like a collection of people's stories of how they get through it and the whole bit. And so you also believe that writing is therapy. I'm going to end with, you had said to me, you've done a lot of businesses, like you said, but this has been the most rewarding thing that you weren't expecting, and it came into your life.
Exactly. It was, like I said, it was buy, build, and flip, but it turned out to be very rewarding. When you see we probably see 100, 200 women a month, and when you see what they go through and the experience, you don't want to give it up.
Yeah.
All right, and you hope to gather enough stories from women to publish an anthology book that will be a source of encouragement as well. So how do you think Ruby feels right now if they're looking down?
She is such a proud peacock. She would be thrilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She is smiling because she never met somebody that she couldn't connect with on a real deep level.
Yeah.
She is so proud of George.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me that even in death, the power she still has.
Absolutely.
With
Absolutely.
our life. Yeah. Thank you, too, so much for sharing this story. You can find Ruby's Wig Salon at 1515 Bingle Road in Houston. Appointments are recommended, but walk-ins are always welcome. To learn more, visit rubyswigs.com, rubyswigs.com, or give them a call at this number right there on your screen, 713-464-3767. Again, that's 713-464-3767.